Alrighty then. There's only one thing I have to say as like a precautious thing. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, it's still a kids video, but like, the only thing I have to say is like this involves violence. Every what if like this one kind of more brutal. Like, not to the point where it's kind of like gore, but like it's still brutal. So, I guess let's get into this. So what's going on, guys? Lotus What Ifs here, back with another video. This is gonna be What If Deku Had Nen Part 2. Last I left off, Deku got out of school and he went home. Alright, right when Deku got home, he got his car into the garage because like he got back to society. He's still in society, but it's hard for like the heroes to get into contact. Like they know where his house is, but like he doesn't like letting them in. All right, so yeah. So right as he gets home, he parks his car in his garage, to which he enters the house. Like, if you want a picture of the house, let me show you. Like, hold on. Da 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 da. So yeah, this is what the mansion looks like, and this is approximately a $100 million mansion. I actually looked at the price for this. It's a $100 million mansion. But in this one, let's make it yen, because like apparently you can get just from $1,000 you can be rich in Japan, Korea, or even in China. Cause like the denomination for $1,000 in them countries be high for some reason. Cause niggas can become billionaires anytime. So Deku's a bounty hunter in America. He got millions of dollars in his bank account. So yeah, I'm about to show you how much he has in his bank account basically. So chill out, hold on. So Deku has 54 billion, like 54 billion 202,500,000 in his bank account. That's in yen, not American dollars, but yen. In American dollars, he has $500 million. All right, so yeah, keep that in mind. This is not US dollars, this is yen. So he has this house, and like I said, he has this car, and this car, but he prefers to go out with this car. All right, so yeah, so he has this car as like, since this like that forest right there. Let's just say that's the forest that they're going to be doing their thing in, their training camp in. So like he doesn't live in the same area as Momo. He lives in the same area as like the hero Ryuko and Mirako. Yeah, he lives in the same neighborhood as Ryuko and Mirako. That house you see in the back, the background basically, that's like Mirako and Ryuko's house. They're sharing the same house. They're like roommates and stuff like that since they're best friends. So yeah. So yeah. So right when Izuku got home, he sat down on a couch. Like, there's many rooms. Obviously, there's gonna be more than one couch. He sat down on his couch and he put his hands on his face. Not like you're washing, not like the way you do it when you're washing your face, but like for him, it's like this. All right. You know when like you're watching something that's so nasty to watch and you put your hands on your face like that, like the V-shape thing. Yeah, he basically put his face like that, and his eyes widen, and all of a sudden, a high amount of bloodlust gets leaked. Like, his bloodlust is leaking. Like, take in mind, none of the heroes nearby can nobody nearby can sense this. Because he did it on purpose. He can do it to the point where anyone at the door could feel it, but nobody other than that's far away from the door cannot feel it. So anyone that's like a foot away from the door, they can't feel it. So yeah. So Miss Joke, let's get back to, well, yeah. So Miss Joke, she's at work right now, and then we skip to 5 hours. It's approximately 7. All right, 7. As Miss Joke says, I'll be heading out now. As they said, why? Ms. Joke says, I just get an uneasy feeling for some reason. As they're like, okay. As she gets home, right when she touches the door, bloodlust. A mass amount of bloodlust. She feels it and she thinks, did somebody piss him off today? As she runs inside the house and hugs Izuku from the back and says, what happened? As Izuku says, nothing. As she says, something must have happened if you're leaking that much bloodlust. What happened? As he tells her how he encountered Bakugo, even though he knew that was gonna happen, but like still, as he just hates them a lot and stuff like that. And she says, alright, but still, you can't do that all the time. As he says, I know. As, yeah. So, we skip to a few days later, to which Class 1A is doing, well, heroes versus villains. Like I said, Deku, he's saving the ass whooping that he's going to serve to Bakugo and All Might for later. He is going to serve an ass whooping for those mans later. Like, that ass whooping is yet to be given. Like, they have yet to feel that ass whooping. So, yeah. As they're doing heroes versus villains, Izuku and Uraraka versus Bakugo and Ida. As Midoriya hears this, he's like, oh my god. As he goes inside and Uraraka says, hey Deku-kun, do you wanna? To which she gets punched immediately, all the way to a wall, and she's knocked out. As All Might sees this and he says, young Midoriya, why would you do that? And Midoriya says to the earpiece, and everybody in the class can hear this, as Izuku says, speak and I will kill you. As All Might, he's thinking, yeah, like you could do that. As he says, you know what, never mind. As Midoriya, he's basically minding his own business, and Bakugo comes out of nowhere like, boom, trying to explode him, to which Deku grabs the man's hands. Like, this ain't no joke. He grabs this man's hand and he Hulk slams him. Like what he did to Loki, he did that same shit again. From left to right. Like he legitimately did it. And he whispered this in his ear. He says, I will hit you with 300 Mack Truck Deluxe respectfully. As the class are wondering, what the hell did he say? As he just walks away while laughing, saying that joke. He was like, no, it would come handy one day. As they're like, wow. As Bakugo, he's groaning. He's like, oh. To which he goes, and Ida, he's basically like, to which Ida, he's basically doing what Ida does, and that's, well, be Ida. Mwahaha, I'm an evil villain. Head ass boy. Did you not see how this nigga was acting in the anime? He had me dying. I was like, bro, what is you doing? Can you stop? So I said, haha, I am a villain. I must take on the persona. I was like, oh my god. What is this man's doing? I thought he was a fool. I thought he was joking around. I was like, bro, your jokes is over now. Stop it. Until he legit hit that shit on Uraraka, I was like, oh nah, he's dead ass. So he does that same shit he did to Uraraka to Deku, since Uraraka is knocked the hell out. As Deku doesn't care. Deku grabs this man's Ida's head and throws him to a wall. He throws this man's to a wall as he reaches for the bomb, as he backs away. Why? To piss him off even more. He does that continuously. He does it for an hour straight, and the whole period's over. And the class is pissed, and so is All Might. As he finally touches it, and All Might says Hero Team wins. And Ida's face is unrecognizable. Ida can't be recognized. Like his face has been pummeled. As Izuku, he walks out. Class 1A is yelling out, "What the hell? Why would you do that? Who gave you the right to do that?" As Izuku looks at them and says, "Shut up, this is none of your business." As he walks into the class, as Midnight sees that everybody's looking at Izuku with a hateful glare, and she's like, "What happened?" As they explain what happened, she's like, I kind of be mad too, I'm not gonna lie." Izuku says, "I know, I did it on purpose, that's why I did it." As he said, "Oh really?" As Bakugo walks into the class with a cast on his arm and his back, like a whole full body cast, and he's mumbling saying, "Deku, you bastard, I'm gonna kill you one day." As Deku says, yeah, sure, believe that. As yeah, they do that. As they said, we're gonna be picking hero names. As Deku says, what? As they pick hero names, as Izuku, he doesn't go with Deku, he goes up and says, "Nen." Like, he just says Nen. And they're like, "What the hell type of quirk is that? Like, what the hell type of name is that?" Deku says, "Cause that's what I want to choose." As he's not gonna call his quirk Nen, he's gonna call it Life Force, basically, since Nen is Life Force or Aura. So yeah. So back to the house. Back at the house. Like, take in mind, Izuku and Ms. Joke haven't done it yet. Like, he hasn't done it yet. So yeah, just take that in mind. Hold up. Oof, me as a dumbass. I forgot where I was. So I think I said no. They finished with the heroes versus villains. Yeah, life energy. Yeah, his quirk is gonna be called life energy. Why? Because I feel like it. All right. So yeah. Like, do you guys ever want me to do reaction videos? Like, yeah, ever want me to do reaction videos? Like, I could do that. Like, I could make a separate account for that. Like, tell me if you want me to do like reaction videos or something like that. But like, yeah. So, damn. I'm not gonna lie. This was supposed to be longer. I had high hopes. No, my hopes and dreams have been broken. Doesn't matter. All right, since yeah, we're gonna do some training shit. Yeah. So they're basically doing training. They're basically go to the gym to do training with Aizawa next period after midnight. As Aizawa says, you're gonna be training to do better with your quirks. They're not training with the teachers this time. They're just training like separately. So yeah, everybody's training their quirks respectively. As Deku, like, he's in front of a stone pillar. Like, he sees that stone pillar, and he's like, this can be broken within seconds. As a matter of fact, milliseconds. As he says, "You know what? I'll extend the time that it gets broken." As Izuku, he puts his hand as if he's holding a sword. Like, he's not going to swing his hand. No. And then he opens his pinky. Like, he opens his pinky, ring finger, and middle finger real fast, and then he closes it. As all the class, the only thing Aizawa saw was a little beam of light come out of his hand, and it didn't do anything to the rock. As Izuku, he steps down, and Aizawa says, "Where are you going?" Izuku says, "My work here is done. That stone pillar is destroyed, so I'll be leaving now." As Aizawa says, "No, it's not. It's still there." Izuku says, "Just wait." As he leaves, he snaps his finger, to which, all of a sudden, the spot where the light hit, the little light beam, basically, it's kind of like a pointer, it starts creating a fire. Like, it starts melting, to which a small sun is appearing. As the sun appears, as the whole rock is melted, the class sees it and they feel the radiance of the heat. As it just explodes, and the class think it's gonna hit them. But right when it reaches the first person it's about to hit, it immediately compresses into a little ball and explodes into little pieces of confetti. As the class see this, they're like, "What the hell?" As Bakugo, he yells out, Deku, where did you learn that move? Deku says, I created it myself. As a matter of fact, it's probably one of my weakest moves. If I wanted to, I could have shattered that whole rock with just my bare hands, but I wanted to show off. As he says, yeah, right. Doesn't matter, I'm stronger than you anyways. As I was looking at him like, is he dumb? Like, shit. Oh wait, he didn't have a good relationship with Aizawa. Nah, over time, Aizawa, they got a better relationship. Aizawa told him that, like, he was treating Miss Joke like that because of, well, when Izuku got, pushed off, he was getting, like, a bad relationship with everybody. Like, he wasn't taking it the best, and, he started abusing Miss Joke as a backlash to it, as Izuku says, alright, I forgive you, but you have to apologize to Miss Joke. Aizawa says, yeah. He goes to Miss Joke, thinking she's about to get abused. To which Aizawa, he bows down and says, I'm sorry for what happened. As she says, alright, we can be friends, but we can't get back into a relationship. And he asks why. He says, because she's dating Midoriya. She says, alright. Yeah. So, they have a good relationship now. So, yeah. To which he still doesn't have he will never have a good relationship with All Might. Like, in any of my what ifs, if I don't want him to have a good relationship with All Might has a chance of getting bodied. Alright? So, they're training every day, and then one day they decide to have mock battles. Saddest thing is, that's going to be. It's not a brutal part. The brutal part is not is in the sports festival. Like, trust me on this one. As I said, alright. First match, Midoriya versus Momo. To which Momo creates a shield and a staff. Midoriya says, I could do that too, but I don't want to. As he's just walking forward, as Momo's hitting him with the staff, and it's not even doing anything. Why? Because Midoriya, he activated his Nen armor. Basically made like some regular armor, but with Nen. As Momo's hitting it and seeing that it's not hurting him, like as she just sees like this green type aura. Like, what color is Conjuration? It's red. This red type aura. But like the aura depends on like his emotions. Like, alright, it's like a gray aura since, well, he's neutral right now and he doesn't really have any emotions at the moment. So, like anger or hate or anything like that. So yeah. So he's taking this like a man. He's taking it like a champ. As he just walks forward to her, as she's scared, like scared. As she just flicks her in the head, to which she gets knocked out. As he lifts her up and puts her down. The class is like, what happened? As Midoriya says, I knocked her out. As every mock battle goes to the same, except for Todoroki versus, like every mock battle, Todoroki and Midoriya didn't get into a fight. In the end, it was Ochaku versus Midoriya. To which Midoriya, this is the brutal part. So first, Uraraka thinks like she's gonna get it easy since she's a girl, and well, he didn't hurt any of the girls he went against. But sadly, Uraraka, it's not going to be that way for you. As Midoriya put a barrier right at the end. Like, the height of the barrier is infinite, but like the sides, it's as big as the ring. So she won't get out of the ring nor anything like that. As she'll always stay conscious. Midoriya made sure to amp up her adrenaline real high. To which Midoriya starts the onslaught. First, he charges, punching her into the stomach, to which he punches into the barrier. She starts bouncing all over the barrier. To which Midoriya, he jumps up, grabs her by the face, and throws her, to which she slams as Midoriya falls on her knees first, knees first, hitting the stomach, to which he starts an onslaught, a barrage of punches to the face, arms, chest, as Uraraka's feeling the pain, and she's like, like, this man Deku's not going 100%, but like he could do, like, he's doing it at like 100% prime All Might strength. So like she is in pain. To which he lifts her up by the head as he throws her and shit like that. As he grabs her by the leg, drags her to the middle of the ring, and starts Hulk slamming her all around, swinging her and throwing her at the barrier. To which he decides, you know what, maybe it's time to end it. Psyche, he lied. Sun legit slammed her head into the thing. She has a fractured skull. like he made sure that she wouldn't get any broken bones, but like she would feel the pain. So then he decides to throw her. He throws Uraraka at the wall. Like the barrier is not there anymore. She hits the wall and has a broken back. And she spends a whole 2 months unable to participate in classwork. And Uraraka's parents tried to sue him. As Izuku hits them with the Uno reverse, he was like, "So I'm gonna be suing you guys because your daughter pushed me down the bridge. Sorry, hold up. Alright, I said they skipped 2 months, right? If I said anything after that, forget it, alright? So, like, it's been 2 months, and one night while Izuku was sleeping, like, take in mind, this happened like a month ago. A month ago, Shigaraki remembered, oh, right, that kid. Wait, no, they never got into contact. Oops, my bad. Alright, yeah, a month ago, during like 3 days after Midoriya and the League of Villains had got into they got into contact. Like he's not the UA trader, no. Like I'm talking about they got into a fight. So like a week before that, Deku got into a confrontation with the League of Villains. Deku was basically taking a nap in the forest. The League of Villains thinking they can invade Deku's house, like, oh, this is gonna be our new hideout. And Izuku sees this and he just stands right in front of the way, and they're like, who the hell are you? As Midoriya says, it's not nice to go on somebody else's property. Now, I suggest you leave before it won't end well for you. As Shigaraki says, like hell it will. As they start off in all-out brawl. As before they could even do anything, they just hear a snap, and all of a sudden, the world around them gets gray and black, as they just see Izuku floating, as Izuku looks at them and says, interesting. I warned you and yet you go anyways. How persistent, idiotic, and retarded are you? To which, all of a sudden, he just goes right in front of them, grabs Shigaraki by the head, and basically he doesn't just let go of this man and throw him. No, he runs into a tree and slams his head into it. Dabi and friends thinking they should run away, but they didn't get the chance. As like I said, it's black and white, which means it's a space that they can't get out of unless they defeat Izuku. To which Izuku says, run while you can. It's not like you can run away. I mean, where you are is not actuality or reality or the outside world, but it's a personal space, one that's created from my ability, which I will not be saying, but just know you have a 100% chance of dying unless I'm in a good mood. To which he proceeds to grab Dabi, and Dabi ignites himself in flames, to which Izuku says, your flames are pathetic. To which he lights his hand up in flames, which is so hot that Dabi can't withstand it and passes out. And now it's Toga's turn. Toga says, you wouldn't hit a girl, right? As before she could even finish that sentence, she got hit right in the stomach. As Izuku, he says, hit a girl. I think you got the wrong idea here. I wouldn't just hit a girl. I'd hospitalize and murder them. So, think of your words before you say them. To which Trice tries to run away, but split personalities. Nigga, one of his split personalities, his anger or his optimistic side and the side with pride, tries to fight Deku, as twice every other personality saying, run away, as he says, no, I'm gonna fight him. To which Izuku bodies twice. Like, Like, you expect Twice to survive Zuko body him? He's a skinny ass nigga. So Twice is eliminated. He's dead now. Yes, Twice is dead. Like, Deku skewered him. Like, he skewered and burned him alive. First, he was conjuration and manipulation. Like he's gonna be using a lot of Nen abilities and combos. Like, he used conjuration, manipulation, and emission. He's always using emission. What the hell? Yeah, he's always using emission all the time. Like, every second he's using emission. He's using transmission, conjuration, manipulation, and emission. Yes, 4 at the same time. There's only 2 left. If I want him to use all of them, he can destroy this whole universe without trying. And creates swords and stabs Twice from the back, and like his whole body has been skewered. Like, instead of spikes just poking all over his body. And these spikes are hot, as he uses transmutation to refine them to a quality to which, even if you have armor able to withstand regular flames, your ass would be grass. Like, yes, that hard. So yeah, Twice dies, yelling in agony, as Azuku doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't care. He doesn't really care, as he just burns the body afterwards, and he, like, dips. And then he throws all of the League of Villains back to the city. Like, legitimately. He respectfully lifted every last one of them and threw them at All For One. Like, for real. He respectfully, like, every one of them, every time a hit the ground, it's one that, like, first, Toga. She's like a whole foot away. No, she's 3 inches away. Then Dabi, 2 inches away. And Shigaraki, 1 inch away. And he decides to throw a spear. A spear. Not sphere, spear. He throws a spear. Not 1 inch, not on him, not at him, but next to his head. And he thinks, who the hell did that? As Shigaraki says, I don't know, since he was well knocked out, as he forgot. To which he remembers again, to which a week later he remembers again and tells All For One, and All For One's like, I'm gonna steal his quirk. And this leads to us and this month. To which Izuku is sleeping one night, to which All For One tries to steal his quirk. Now, as All For One grabs Deku's head, no, not head, grabs Deku's shoulder to take the quirk, since, well, all he has to do is make contact, Deku grabs this man's hand. Yo, All For One is shocked like hell. He's like, what? Hold on, wait a minute. He's in his side like, what? Impossible. What? I timed this perfectly. He should have been asleep. As Deku says, it's not that I wasn't asleep. It's the fact that you decided to come into my range. The fact of the matter is, I knew you were coming from a mile away. Literally. And not only that, you disturbed me from my sleep. So, what is the fitting punishment? Ah, I know. He gets up, twists All For One's hand. All For One thinking, since he has, like, strength enhancement, he can just twist Deku's hand back. No, Deku's not playing that. He tries to use the enhancement quirks, as he's like, what? Why was it not working? Deku says, oh, poor soul, so weak. As he just slams All For One in by dragging his hand downwards. As All For One's face hits the ground. No, don't forget that. It hits the rim of Deku's bed. Like, his head hits the rim of the bed. As he's knocked out. He's knocked out cold. He's out cold. As Deku lifts up the whole body and flings that nigga at the League of Villains hideout. And take in mind, Deku's aura is all over the place. Like, this man's Deku, he knows the exact locations for all their base. It's just that he doesn't care to raid them. He doesn't really care about them. He could legitimately body them. But he's like, you know what? Nah, I'm gonna save that for later. Cause like, this man could body them easily. So yeah, as everybody's sleeping, like everybody in the League of Villains, to which they just hear a bang as everybody comes running out, like Shigaraki and stuff like that, as they see All For One knock the fuck out, and Shigaraki yells out, "Master, Master!" As he goes, as All For One's waking up, he's like, "What happened?" As he recalls to what happened, he was like, "What the hell? That kid is strong. I need his quirk. I could defeat All Might." And yeah, we skip to 2 months later, to which they're having a field trip. Field trip to the USJ. Yeah, 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 yeah. Like, they're doing the USJ all over again. Yeah, but this time it's remodeled. It's remodeled. Yeah. So they go to the USJ. And, like, take them on. Like in this one, I'm gonna make it so that Shiketsu goes with them in the trip. So yeah. Deku's gonna control class when they like bad, like really bad. Like yeah. So alright. So yeah. So if I keep saying so, it's because I'm thinking. I'm having a hard time thinking. I'm not stuttering. I'm doing that on purpose. So 2 months later, they have a field trip to the USJ. Yeah, they go in and they get attacked again. Why? Because All For One thinks we have to attack them early so I can steal that quirk. But this time, not just one Nomu shows up, but 10. To which, like, it's the same amount of villains, but this time with 10 Nomus. As Deku sees them, like Aizawa's about to go, but right in midair, Izuku just grabs him and pulls him down. As he said, "Midoriya, what are you doing, Midoriya?" "Nah, sorry, but like, let me do this." As he said, "Okay." As he just puts his hand in a gun position, as he just points at them and says, "Pew, pew." As Aizawa and 13 and this class are like, "What the fuck are you doing?" To which Aizawa thinks, "You know what, since you're not gonna do anything, fine." As he jumps, and all of a sudden, right when he jumps, explosions go off and says, "What? How?" As he looks back and sees Midoriya, and Midoriya, he's just blowing the tip of his middle finger like, as Midoriya says, "What did I tell you? I'll handle it." As he looks at them again and says, "Pew, pew, 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 pew." As now all the villains, except for the Nomu, Shigaraki, and Kurogiri, as Shigaraki says, "Nomus, beat him and capture him." To which Midoriya says, "Sadly, that's not gonna happen." To which the Nomu, he goes to Midoriya and punches Midoriya to no effect. To then Midoriya, he grabs that Nomu's shoulder and presses it down. As the Nomu, it's struggling to get up. Like, it is struggling. Like, it's having the hardest time of its life. As Midoriya says, "Why are you still down there? Get up." As the Nomu's struggling to get up. As Midoriya says, "Since you won't get up, I guess this is the end for you." To which he then just squeezes the shoulder of the Nomu and obliterates half the Nomu, which included the head. As the Nomu is dead, as Shigaraki sees this and says, "All of you Nomus, attack him at once." To which all of the Nomus attack him, but to no effect. As all of a sudden they hear a sound, basically, which was spikes hitting the kneecaps of the Nomus. To which the Nomus fall on the ground. As that happens, as the Nomus are yelling in agony. Cause we know damn well them niggas would not, we know damn well them niggas would not rip their legs off. Cause if they do, that leaves them vulnerable and Deku could kick their asses real quick. But even though he could do that, he just, like, take in mind, these spikes stops his regeneration abilities. Like I said, his Nen specialist ability allows him to cancel out abilities or powers or quirks. So yeah, he picks up the Nomu by the neck and slams the Nomus to the point where, well, their brains explode. As he says, my work here is done. To which he starts walking to Shigaraki, and he says, Kurogiri, get us out of here. As Midoriya purposely lets them leave. And we'll just leave it at that for this current moment in time. To which the class, they're praising Midoriya as Midoriya leaves and says, yeah, whatever. Alright, let's go. As he says, but wait, he says, get out. As they said, why? He says, I need to fix the places that they destroyed. Like, what do you mean, why? As they said, okay. As, yeah. Not gonna lie, this house is fire. It's sexy, I'm not gonna lie. So, yeah. I don't know if that blue part is a pool. I feel like it's a pool. Like, imagine a pool that long. Like, just in your backyard, a pool that long. Like, what would you do? Like, I feel like I'm the type of person to jump from the roof. Like, you see the roof, like the highest place in the house. I'm the type of person to be that reckless and jump into the pool from jumping all the way that high. Like, I would get myself killed. I'm legitimately the type of person you'd see do that. Like, I would look at that floor. Like, the floor would be that color. I'd look at it like it's a pool, go to the roof, and say, he everybody would be looking at me like, bro, don't do that. And I hit the ground and died. So, yeah. Not only would that count as third-degree murder, suicide, but idiotic. Like, really idiotic. So, yeah. Like, in my case, imagine having, like, 20/20 vision, but you need glasses. Like, that represents me. I have 20/20 vision, but I need glasses. Like, that's the only thing I'm gonna say. Shut the fuck up. Shut up! This shit a movie. Them niggas making a movie outside. Oh, nah, that's crazy. This shit a movie. Yo, alright, y'all know about that baby I told you about, like how my grandmother's like just looking after this baby for a while, like his parents are at work. Yo, this son learning words. Son learning words. He's saying, "Shut up, Josh." Yeah, Josh is my little brother. He's saying, "Shut up, Josh. You have this and that." I'm like, bro, this is a movie. What are you doing? Oh nah, they arguing over toys. I'm like, bro, what? All right then. So, and my mother got into it. Oh my god, he's throwing another tantrum. This is the second tantrum my brother threw today. Just because the kid told him to shut up. Like, alright. For my, like, imagine being like, alright. To anyone that has like a 6-year-old sibling or a 3-year-old sibling, like, imagine being 6 and the 6-year-old tells you to shut up. What would your reaction be? Like, me personally, I wouldn't care. Like, you wanna know the funny part? My brother thinks shut up is a bad word, but we all know it's not a bad word. He says it's a bad word, but yeah, he says it all the time. And then when the kid says it to him, he gets offended. And not just any kid, a 3-year-old. Like, bro, it's kind of messed up. It's like, you throwing a tantrum over the word that you always tell me? Like, bro. Alright then, so, yeah. Yeah, F the USJ. F that, yeah. So, we cut to the sports festival 4 months later. Oh, yes. As the sports festival happens as normal, and they said, can the student representative come up? As Bakugo walks up, as Midnight says, it's not you. As Bakugo says, what? Who? Which bastard decided to take my spot? To which Midoriya walks up and says, as he's holding his neck and says, like, this is basically my preferable stance, just walking around, just holding my neck. I'm the type of person to actually do that. Like, that's how I literally walk around, just most of the time, just holding my neck. So he walks, and he cracks his neck and says, move out of my spot, Bakugo. As Bakugo says, what did you call me? As Deku, he pulls the mic towards him and says, maybe you didn't hear me, but let me say this again. As he amps up the music of amps up the music of the sound waves, and he says, "Move out of the way, Bakuho." As everyone hears this, like everybody hears this, and Bakugo, he feels embarrassed now, like really embarrassed. That's everybody's laughing, and he feels embarrassed. As Bakugo yells out, "You'll pay for this, Deku. No one humiliates me." As he goes back to the stands, to which Midoriya says, "Yeah, I don't care." And he just goes up to the stage and says, "All right, first things first. I don't care who you are. I really." Like Deku says, "I don't care who you are, what you are, where you originate from, or whatever your parents told you, how you grew up, what environment you grew up in. I'm gonna kick your ass. You could be like Nomonama, the one who thinks he's higher than everyone. I'm kicking your ass. And not just normal kicking your ass. I'll kick your ass till you understand. You're weaker than most. And if you're like a snotty nosed brat like Bakuho, I'll pummel you to the point where you're at the hospital and you don't even know what happened. And if you're like Todoroki, who likes going half his full power, I'll pummel you till you go 100%, or even beyond your limits. And if you're anybody who likes to hold back, bully others, or provoke others just because your quirk allows you to mind control them, knowing full well Shinso understand, like he's directing that shit towards Shinso. Like Shinso, he knows he's directing that shit towards him. Shinso, like, this cunt. Deku, he smiles. His eyes are closed and he smiles and says, I'll hospitalize you. As he feels scared, as he looks at where the heroes are, as he sees All Might, and he says, into the mic too, as he remembers All Might. Interesting. I actually have something for you. As he speaks into the mic and says, if you're a fan of All Might, aspire to be like All Might, have any relations to All Might, which means you think about him, or had any single thought about All Might, not only will I pummel you half to death, hospitalize you into a full body crotch and into a full body cast, but I'll bring you inches so close to death that you didn't even know that they existed. As he says, oh, and for Bakugo, since you have a special relationship with All Might, consider yourself hospitalized for months. As he lets out a whole lot of bloodlust, as everybody feels this. As the top 10 heroes stand up and says, hey, stop that, as he looks at them, releasing more bloodlust, paralyzing them, and says, stand up again while I speak, and not only will your heads be cut off in seconds, but you won't even know they were cut off. As he's emitting a whole lot of bloodlust. Like, Stain type bloodlust. Like, even more than Stain's bloodlust. It's kind of like the atmosphere of Stain. Like, everybody feels the bloodlust. To which Miss Jo gets up and says, Izuku, stop. To which Izuku, he sucks in all the bloodlust and says, alrighty then. Good luck. As they're like, what the hell? How did that work? As they looked at Miss Joke and says, what is your secret? As Miss Joke says, that's for me to know and you to find out. As a matter of fact, I like to put the video, like about this time, I'd like to put the picture on the ship. So like, I don't know, because I just want to. So yeah. Shit, I've been leaning on the same shoulder for a long time. It's hard to even get up. So yeah. She says, that's for me to know and you to possibly find out. Like, after being traumatized, all the heroes except for Endeavor, since he has a whole lot of pride, thinking, I'm still going to tell him to make sure to use 100%. As Midnight spins the wheel and it's the obstacle course. As everything goes as normal. Psych, are you crazy, bro? As Everybody runs out, and Bakugo says, "Ha! The nerd finally knows he doesn't have a chance." To which Midoriya, he starts stepping out. He steps out right in front of the entrance, like right in front of the starting line. To which he starts stretching. As they said, "What?" To which Midoriya, he just sits there. Sits there and takes a nap for 30 minutes. Since like it takes like 45 minutes to get there, to which the heroes are like, "What the hell is he doing? Can he go?" To which he finally gets up when it hits the 30-minute mark, and he's like, "Alright, let's get this over with." To which he bends down and jumps. As he reaches the finish line, and like he reaches the finish line, but he doesn't just jump over it. That nigga, he goes back into the entrance of the dome as he walks in. He walks in. Not only did he waste the hero's precious time, he walks in. He disrespected everyone. Son waited until Bakugo and Todoroki was out of the bomb place and walks in. As he walks in, Hazashi says, "And Azuku Midoriya is the winner!" As the wheel spins again, as it says cavalry battle, and everybody gets. As yeah, he says the thing about the 10 million points, as nobody wants to be with Deku. Why? Because A, Class 1A kinda hate Midoriya. B, 10 million points. And Midoriya's like, "Can I be on a team by myself?" As Midnight says, "Only if you can float or some dumb shit." As he says, "Oh, that's all? Okay." As Midoriya, he starts floating. As they're like, "What the hell?" As they're like, "How many quirks does he have?" All Might sneaking all for one. As he jumps down and says, "Stop right there, all for one." As Midoriya says, "I'm gonna ignore him." As All Might says, "All for one, I'm telling you, get down here." As Deku says, "I will ignore him again." As All Might screams this time, "All for one, get down here right now." As All for one, hearing this from a mile away, just jumps all the way there and he says, "What do you want, All Might?" As All Might says, "Wait a minute, if you're here, young Midoriya, you working with All for One?" As All for One says, "What? What do you mean? Who's young Midoriya?" As he points to him, as All for One says, "You, I still gotta get you back for last, for what happened 2 months ago." As Midoriya says, yeah, you can do that at your own time, but like, you need to know, he thinks I work with you. Can you clarify that, not only did I beat the League of Villains ass, but I beat your ass to the point where you were out cold." As All Might clarifies and says, "Yes, he does not work with me. He actually beat my ass. That's why I said I need to get him back for the last 2 months." As they said, "Wait a minute, he beat the number one villain?" As they said, "Midoriya?" As All Might says, "Stop lying. I know damn well he's not strong enough." As Midoriya says, "Oh my god, your guys are annoying. You know what? Alright. All for one, bring the League of Villains here. All Might, do whatever you want. I'll face all of you all at once." But that's after this cavalry battle, because, well, it's not battling time. As fine. As they said, fine. To which Midoriya, he wins the cavalry battle. Why? Because every time Bakugo goes after him, he just bitch slaps him. As, yeah. So now it's time for the 1v1 fights. We skip all the useless fighting, like Shinso versus Deku, because, like I said, Deku beat Shinso to the point he was pummeled. As, yeah. As Endeavor tries to tell Deku to, well, use his quirk, but before Endeavor could even say anything, Midoriya just walks past him as Endeavor grabs Midoriya's shoulder, to which Midoriya grabs Endeavor's hand and says, "Boy, like father, like son, huh? I see where he gets the shoulder grabbing thing from." To which Endeavor says, "How dare you?" To which Deku grabs Endeavor's head and slams him across the wall. Like, she slams him across the walls 5 times as he just leaves Endeavor just knocked out cold, all bloodied and battered. Damn, that was my grandfather sneezing, sorry about that. As Endeavor, he's knocked out cold. As, yeah. As Midoriya walks up, again, grandfather. As Deku, he is about to fight Shota Todoroki, and Todoroki says, I will beat you with my eyesight. As Deku says, sorry, but that eyesight won't be of help, and can I ask you for a favor, Midnight? Again, grandfather, old people, they sneeze a lot, sorry about that. As Midnight says, what is it? As he points to his entrance and says, I'd like you to go through that entrance. You'll be seeing a sight that, well, probably no one wants to see, but do it anyways. And can you grab the body too? You're gonna be hearing a lot of sneezing since I'm doing this in my room and I don't want to go anywhere else since I'm under covers. And, well, my shit's be comfortable as fuck. So, yeah. And I'm about to end this soon anyway, so might as well stick around, right? So, Midnight. I'm sorry. This is just like a natural occurrence right now. So, Midnight goes as she looks, and all of a sudden, everybody hears a yell. To which she calls Cementos, and she says, call the ambulance, to which the ambulance comes and rushes over there, to which they pick up Endeavor's body as everybody's watching Endeavor getting hauled out of Izuku's area, and Todoroki watches this, and he's shocked and enraged because his father was just brutally battered and bruised by Izuku, as he's pissed off as he unconsciously uses his fire due to anger. Not like the way that Izuku says, and Izuku says, wonderful. Now, use it with kill intent. As Todoroki says, if that's what you want, fine. As he charges at Midoriya. As he hits Midoriya with the fire, thinking that it's going to do something. To which Midoriya, he just tanks that, as he says, it's sad. I had high hopes for you, but sadly, you don't meet my expectations. To which he bodies him, like, he punches him from side to side, basically. Like boxing punches, right hook, left hook, right hook, left hook, like, repeatedly. Like, he does that 10 times. As he just uppercuts Todoroki out of the ring. As every bad hero seeing this, they're like, what the hell? So brutal. As before that, we have an intermission between All Might, All For One, League of Villains versus Deku. As they all get in the ring and surround him, as Izuku, he just stands there like, alright, hurry up. To which they charge. As All Might and All For One look at each other, and All For One says, I never saw this coming. The day where I'd work with my arch rival, huh? As All Might says, yes, I never saw this coming either. To which they says, but anyways, the task at hand. Reprimand this Midoriya boy. As they said, yeah. As they charge at Midoriya as well. As Midoriya, he, like, in the time they were talking, Midoriya bodied the League of Villains. As All Might and All For One go to attack Deku, like, take in mind, Deku's eyes have been closed the whole time, to which he finally decides to open his eyes, which also shows a lot of bloodlust. Not the bloodlust that, well, reprimanded the top 10 heroes, but bloodlust to, well, severely injure them. Not like injure them like that, but like, frighten them a little. As all of a sudden, he speaks. Time and space chains. To which all of a sudden, the whole area where they are turns black, as if it were night, and white chains surround All For One and All Might. As all the heroes are seeing this, and they're like, what is this? As they're just feeling this immense pressure of death, as Izuku looks at them and says, You know, you should really watch who you get into fights with. Normally, anyone with my abilities would have just killed you right then and there. You're lucky I'm an exception. I'll let you off with just a beating to the point where you're all cold. To which he goes to the two, grabs their heads, and slams them into the ground, not knocking them out, and they're out cold. To which Midoriya picks up All For One, the League of Villains, and throws them to their base. And the heroes are like, why would you do that? And Deku says, oh, really? So you want me to do your work, huh? You heroes really are pathetic, huh? Instead of relying on a student to do your job, do it yourselves. I'm not your little errands boy or servant. Instead of making me do your jobs without even getting paid, how about you do it instead and actually get paid for the work you do? As they're frightened, like he's still bringing out this mass amount of bloodlust. As she says, alright Izuku, stop it. Now it's time for the Ochako and Bakugo fight. As Deku, he jumps all the way to, well, Miss Joke, as he lifts her up from her seat and he sits there and he puts Miss Joke on his lap. As Miss Joke feels embarrassed and says, why do you do this to me? As Izuku says, what? It was bound to happen anyways. She says, fine. As they just sit there watching there, and the heroes are like, kid, why are you here? Shouldn't you be out there? And Midoriya says, no, this is not my match right now. As they said, contestant from the right. On the right side, Ochako Uraraka. As everybody is silent. Like it's like everybody's in an uproar right now. And when the two of them like are entranced, and then it gets quiet as it's quiet before, like it's kind of like a standoff between the two. As Izuku, he yells out, just snapping them out of it. Woo! Bakuho and Hochako. As they're getting really irritated and Bakugo says, what the hell did you call me, you nerd? And he says, woo, Bakuho and Hochako. And Uraraka says, don't call me that. As Deku says, woo, Hochako and Bakuho. As they're getting really pissed. As they charge at Deku, and Uraraka steps out first. As Midnight says, winner of this match due by Uraraka standing out of the ring, Bakugo Katsuki. As Uraraka says, you did this on purpose. As Izuku, he smiles and laughs and says, maybe I did, maybe I didn't. What will you do about it? Oh wait, you can't. After all, what happened 7 months ago? I nearly killed you, wasn't that right? Yeah, that is right. Oh, and remember, there's no such thing as rematches in war. And if you haven't noticed, you're weak-minded. As Uraraka hears this and she's getting heated, they're pissed at Deku. Well, Bakugo's not pissed, but Uraraka's pissed. Because Bakugo knows he's fighting Deku next, thinking he could beat the living doo-doo out of Deku. Deku's like, yeah, I'm not having that. You crazy, bro? As Deku walks out, as Deku intentionally says, Bakugo, your mom looking kind of thick. She looking thicker than a Snicker. She kind of looking hot. And she looking beefy. You know what? I'm gonna be inside of your mom soon anyways. As Mitsuki hears this and she's blushing. Like the dad's not watching either. Let's just say that Mitsuki's husband, Master, I don't know how to say his name. Well, nobody knows. Nobody cares about it. like we legit thought that Muscular was Bakugo's dad. Like, how are you Bakugo's dad and such a bitch? Like, do you not see how this man acts? Like he's like the balance between the two of them. Like let's just say this man's had enough of it, and he was like, you know what? I guess it's time, and he commits suicide. Like this man killed himself, and yeah. And before he did that, he said, "It's not your guy's fault. You unconsciously did these things as they felt happy because he told them to smile and live on for him." As Psycho lied, no, he didn't commit suicide. He was killed while out. So yeah, as Mitsuki hears this, she's right when he says, "I'll be inside of her." She blushes and she unconsciously gets wet. She unconsciously gets wet as Miss Joke yells out, "I'll let this slide. I'll let it happen once. Any more times and you're sleeping on the couch." And Izuku says, "Why?" As she says, "You know damn well why." As he says, "Fine." As yeah, I'll probably go on to the training camp arc for this one. Probably. More than an hour. Yeah, this is gonna be more than an hour. So Bakugo, he's getting really heated, and he says, "Ah, right. About that. I suggest you don't move. Not only am I your superior when it comes to intelligence, hero knowledge, but I'm also superior with your quirk." As they said, "Isn't his quirk an explosion?" As Izuku says, "No, no, 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 no. Not that one. Bakugo, you know exactly which I'm talking about. The other one. I'm your predecessor, your superior, your senior. You ought to show more respect to the one that had the quirk before you and had more knowledge. Isn't that correct?" As his eyes just widen and his eyes turn red, to which his all his bloodlust leaks. As it's like a whirlpool of blood, like a bloodlust, like it's like thousands of times greater. Like it's like the size of the sun. As they just feel this big ass burden, this like everyone in there can sense his blood. They feel like this big ass, like everyone except for Miss Joke, of course, cause well, like who trying to scare their girlfriend? Miss Joke is just wondering, like, why does everybody look like that? I'm joking. She already knows why. He says, can't do anything about it now. As like everybody feels this kill intent, and the heroes Joe try to save Bakugo, to which like they think that Bakugo is going to die. Like this man's Deku's eyes is blood red. Like instead of his eyes being the ones they are in this picture, they are blood red, and his hair is floating. Like it's just upwards, and like you know how Illumi's hair was when he first transformed in front of Killua, how his hair was floating upwards. Yeah, his hair is like that. So yeah, he's letting off a lot of kill intent. Instead of Illumi just letting out like a faint amount of kill intent, like if Illumi were to come into contact with Deku, Illumi would be dead within seconds. So yeah. So the heroes try to get him, but sadly there's a barrier in front and they can't do nothing about it. As Bakugo charges in front of Deku despite knowing that he's scared, as Deku not only grabs Bakugo mid-air, but decides to ride him mid-air as he forcibly activates the quirk in Bakugo's body. Why? By making a small cut in Bakugo's arms and putting his aura in it. Like forcefully putting his aura in it. And making him, like he puts manipulation, he uses manipulation in a mission and enhancement to like literally force him to use his quirk as he's riding him around. As like take in mind, he put down the barrier to which he's flying away. He's flying over the stadium, over the city, and Bakugo's arms are breaking. Like he's enhancing his stamina. And he's enhancing Bakugo's stamina, adrenaline, and Bakugo's arms are getting broken as Bakugo keeps yelling and yelling and yelling. As Deku says, "Come on, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going." He's manipulating Bakugo's body and making him go forward. As the heroes are seeing this and they're like, he's a demon. To which Deku, he's just smiling the whole time like, "Keep going, Bakugo. If you stop now, not only will you lose, but you'll die." As he decides, alright, Now it's time. To which they land in the field, to which Bakugo's arms are completely shattered. As Deku's like, okay, now it's time for me to go. As Bakugo says, what do you mean? To which, and incidentally, Deku appears right next to Bakugo, as his hand is right in front of Bakugo's face. And you know how niggas scratch, like how in anime, like animals like tigers and stuff like that like to scratch downwards? Deku, he does that same thing, but this time he grabs Bakugo's head and throws him at the barrier. Everybody thinks he's gonna hit the wall at high speeds. No, he hits a bouncing barrier as everyone sees this like, what the hell? As he's just bouncing around at high speeds. As every second Bakugo gets close to him, Deku switches like the speed, like the trajectory and the speed that he's going at by like bodying him. Like not bodying him, but like hitting him with a clothesline. Just like throwing him at the wall. And he's flying as he's going at high speed. Like he already passed out due to the speed and the pain of it hitting his head. As he's going at light speed now. He's breaking the sound barrier. As like you're hearing a lot of sonic booms as Deku's like, alright then, I never really thought of this, but let's try a supernova. As if you don't know what a supernova is, I'll show you. Hold on. As he creates two suns to make the supernova. Let me show you how it works. So yeah. So like yeah, hold on. Like I'm about to show you the video. To which Deku, he just makes them swirl. Like he created like many suns inside of Bakugo. They won't destroy his inside, but he will feel the heat. He enhanced Bakugo's insides to make it so strong that he can withstand the heat. The pain, but the heat he won't be able to withstand it. He'll feel the heat. It won't melt him, but he'll feel it. To which he created the suns to spin around, to which they collide, and this is what happened inside of Bakugo's body when it collided. So yeah, this explosion just starts to happen. Like this is the explosion of a Big Bang. So yeah, that big ray and explosion happens. Yeah, that's basically what happened inside Bakugo's body. So yeah. So that happens inside Bakugo's body, and Bakugo, he's in pain. Bakugo is yelling out and saying, help me, help me, help me. And the heroes are traumatized, knowing that they can't help him in this situation, as Deku's just smiling over him, saying, what did I tell you? I'm your superior. You should respect me, as he stomps on his head and says, you should watch what you do. After all, you don't want to get on my bad side, as he picks up Bakugo, throws him all the way at the wall. The hero's thinking the whole thing's gonna happen again, but then this time he hits the wall as Izuku walks out and he says, he's not dead, but you should probably bring him to the doctor. To which he opens his eyes to look at Midnight, and Midnight sees a black pupil and the surrounding areas of his eyes are black. As Midnight, she's scared. She's scared. As she says, right away, as they come. As Miss Joke, she jumps down and says, did you really have to do that? Deku says, I don't know. He had it coming. After all, you know what he did to me. As Miss Joke says, how am I gonna deal with you? As Midoriya says, I don't know. How are you? As she says, let's go. As now it's time for the reward ceremony. As Ms. Joke knows, Nezuko exerted a lot of damage, so she's basically feeding him, She's feeding him while he's laying down on her lap, and he says, you know you don't have to do this. As Ms. Joke says, I know I don't, but I insist I do. As he says, fine, fine. As he says, alright, get some rest. Like, for the price of him, like, being able to use, like, infinite amount of nen and stuff like that, he has to, like, sleep. It uses his energy, but, like, not that much of it. Like, unless he's making, like, Big Bang type things, it needs him to sleep for about, like a good 30 minutes or so. So, yeah. So, it doesn't take that much energy from him. Stuff like that. So, So, yeah. So, Izuku, he sleeps for that 30-minute break, as everybody in class, when they walk in to see that, as they're like, what are you doing? And Miss Joke says, he's sleeping, be quiet. As they said, why would we do that? She says, if he's sleeping and you wake him up, you have a chance of either being hospitalized or dead. So pick your poison. As she says, never mind, as they just walk out. As Midoriya wakes up 30 minutes later and he says, what happened? She says, you were asleep for 30 minutes. It's time for the award ceremony. As he says, alright, as the awards are handed out, Bakugo is still chained up and stuff like that, and the same thing happens with Bakugo. As he goes to Midoriya, as Midoriya, he's just leaning there like, as All Might goes in front of him, as he says, I don't need it, bye. As he just floats away. So, yeah. Alright guys, that's where I'm going to be leaving it off. So, yeah. I don't care about the training camp arc. Let's just skip I'm a terrible person if I had that. If I actually did that, I would be a terrible person. I'm probably, like, for real, like, honestly speaking, there's gonna be manga spoilers. Not in this part, but future parts. I'm gonna bring the manga into this because Sons is taking mad long to bring up the anime. So it doesn't really matter. You'll be seeing this in the anime, but I'll be going like by piece and stuff like that. So yeah, don't worry and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm not gonna lie. No, I'm not gonna do that right now. I'm not gonna spoil that. You gotta read the manga to know the second power Izuku gets and when he gets Nana Shimura's power, if you know what her power is. So yeah. So, we skip to a month later when they're just training and stuff like that with the teachers this time. As Deku, he's training by himself. Why? Because the teachers are fine to train with him, like every teacher. As you know, as he goes to Nezu's office, and Nezu sees him as he walks up to Nezu, grabs Nezu, and he puts Nezu on his shoulder and says, let's go, buddy, we're gonna train. Nezu says, train! No, I don't want to train, leave me alone! As Deku says, no, we're training, let's go, buddy. As Nezu's terrified, he's traumatized, he's like, no, I don't want to train, I'm scared. Like, Nezu is scared for his life. As the teachers just see him walking with Nezu, he's like, and the teacher's like, what are you doing with him? He says, we're just going to train. As they all look at Nezu, and Nezu is saying, help me, nigga. Like, in this one, Nezu's black. Like, his fur's not black, but he's black. Let's just say that. He says, help me, niggas. As, yeah. As Deku says, yeah, ain't no nigga helping you. As, damn. As, I know this picture is white. I know it's white, but like, in this one, Deku the OG, like Deku the type of person to beat your ass. So, like, if the way I'm making Deku, like, would you really not allow somebody like this Deku to say the N-word? Like, you'd get your ass beat if you don't allow him to say the N-word. So, you kind of don't really have a choice on choosing whether he can say it or not. It's just him choosing whether he wants to say it or not. So yeah, he says it, and he says, no niggas ain't helping you. As they just walk away. As Nezu gets into the machine, and he says, alright, all you're doing is training. He's not aiming to kill you or destroy you or anything like that. You're just training. As Deku says, alright Nezu, what tips do you have for situations like this? As Nezu says, well, for starters, you shouldn't tense up, and you should really ease your body. Go into your nature, basically. As he says, alright, as he's calm. As he says, alright then, what's next? He says, you should watch your surroundings carefully. Even with your aura, what would happen if you didn't have it? As he has fair point, as he makes sure that he looks around his surroundings. As he says, alright, good. And last but not least, you should measure your opponent's scale when it comes to, well, the power they could possess. Because, then again, like I said, if you did not have your aura and somebody were to break a building on top of you, you wouldn't just be able to take it, you would have to, well, put in some effort. As he says, you're right. As they charge, as Deku restricts himself from using the aura, he's just using full strength. And as Nezu says, good, good. You should make sure to pay attention to your surroundings and pay attention to how you do them. As Deku and Nezu are both having fun, as afterwards they get out, as Deku, he walks out just all sweaty and muscular, as everybody's asking, where's Nezu? To which Nezu pops out from the back of Deku's hair and says, oh, that was fun. As Deku says, yeah, surprisingly. As they said, fun? Weren't you just begging for your life a few seconds ago? As Deku says, as Nezu says, well, yeah, until, well, he was taking it lightly on me. He didn't go all out. He actually restricted himself. As they said, wow. Alright then. So yeah. So we skip to the training camp arc. Yes, sir. Like Class 1A, Class 1B, Shiketsu, and stuff like that come as they see Pixie Bob and stuff like that. To which Deku sees what's about to happen. He's like, you know what, I'm gonna let it happen. Psych, you crazy, bro? As he goes behind Pixie Bob, as Pixie Bob does the thing, as everybody falls down, as everybody's just looking surprised, and Pixie Bob's like, what? As she looks around and sees Deku, and he's like, such a slimy one. It doesn't matter. As he just goes for a karate chop and she feels like immense aura, like kill intent, just about to hit her, like a type of, like, you know, the sound from One Punch Man's like death sound, like she basically feels that one. And right before she gets hit in the head, Nezuko stops him, and he puts away the kill intent, and he just taps her head and says, watch your surroundings, kid, as he just walks away. As they say, where are you going? Like, including Aizawa, and Nezuko says, what do you mean, where am I going? This is where my house is. As they're like, what? Your house? As Izuku, he says, come on, follow me. As, I mean, like, the house is near the training camp anyways. As they're like, really? As he says, yeah. As they go and they see this house, and they're like, whose house is that? Izuku says, that's my house. As they said, no way. As Deku says, yes way. As they said, how much is it? As Deku says, 100 million yen. As they're like, 100 million? That's more than my yearly salary. I'm joking. That's about that's like 12 years, that's 5 years worth of my salary. As Deku says, really? That was 1 week's worth of my money. As they're like, what? How? Deku says, oh, right. You guys don't know this. I kind of like a bounty hunter type thing. I earned a lot of money. I do the bounty hunting in America, so like, I currently have I think 54 billion. Shit. Let's go off of what I know. 54 billion. 202 million and 500,000. As they said, that much? As he says, yeah, I earned 500 million in America. So yeah, that's the amount of money I have right now. They're like, wow, that's a lot. As Deku says, yeah, it is. Yes, yeah. They go inside, they have a nice seating, and they're like, wow, this house is so fancy. Like, do you live in here alone? He says, no. Nope, I live in here with my girlfriend, soon-to-be fiance. As they're like, who's that? As Aizawa knows who this is and says, how is she? As he says, she's gotten better for what happened. As Aizawa says, yeah, I'm sorry about that. Izuku says, it's fine, you apologized anyways, and plus, you did it unconsciously. As he says, yeah. As they said, what are you talking about? He says, well, he's dating Miss Joke, and me and Miss Joke were in a relationship, but we didn't have the best one at the moment, because, well, after he was presumed dead due to him drowning, I've been having a terrible relationship with her. I've been abusing her and stuff like that. And they're like, abusing? We should take you into custody. And Izuku says, no, it's fine. She's all healed up by me anyways. As They said, oh, okay. As, yeah, as the class, they get to the training, they get to the camp, as they're like, where's the teachers? To which they just see the teachers coming out of the bushes and says, oh, you're here. As they're like, where were you? As the teacher says, don't worry about that, but, we're not gonna be cooking for you guys are gonna be cooking for yourselves. As Pixie Bob goes to the 3, Bakugo. No, this time we're gonna add Kirishima instead of Deku. And she says, I want you for it. As she's just grabs both of them and scratches them and stuff like that. As they feel annoyed. As this time Ida approaches. As in front of Koda, to which Koda, Koda wasn't having it with him. Koda started jumping around, Ida thinking he happy and shit. And then Koda cocks his hand back. Bow! Ida, he got the pain of the lifetime. He was like, damn. As Kirishima ran up and says, Ida, bro, no! As Deku walks up to Koda, and he's leaking a little bit of kill intent. As Koda feels this and he's scared. But then Azuku gets on eye level with him and he smiles and says, good job, kid. As he lifts up his hand for a high five, to which Koda's surprised and high fives him. As Ida, he's on the floor, says, you shouldn't do that, Midoriya. Don't encourage him. As Midoriya says, oh, I mean, you had it coming. I could clearly sense he didn't like any of you, due to the fact that we want to be heroes. But my reason for being a hero is different from yours. I don't want fame, glory, nor to save people, but, more of to make sure people like Bakuho and Uraho doesn't exist. As they're like, what do you mean? As Deku says, you'll find that out soon, but not right now. As the 3 days go by, no, the next day everybody wakes up, and as Awa says, everybody will be training, except for Midoriya, as the class says, where is Midoriya? As take in mind, the class look awful because they're in the wilderness. As Midoriya comes out looking fine as hell, as like he pull up in this. No, I'm joking. Yeah, he pull up in that. Yeah, he pulls up in this. As the class are like, where did you get that car from? As Deku says, don't worry about that. Saka lie, Deku just pops out of nowhere from the jungle and says, oh, hey there. As they're like, where were you? As Izuku says, don't worry about that. And they said, why do you look so clean? And why do you look like you had a good night's sleep? As Deku says, cause I did. What, you didn't? As he says, no. What do you mean? We're in the wilderness. As Deku says, oh, that's sad. As they all of a sudden they just see Miss Joke pop out of nowhere and they're like, as Mineta getting mental images and said, ooh, are you guys fucking? As before he could even say that, Deku kicked him. Deku kicked him. Son got kicked into the mountain. As Mineta, he's out cold. He is out. He is out like a light. Like a light. I'm joking. Alright, I'm not bringing Drake songs into this. I'm sorry. So, yeah. Oh, wow. How long has it been? Damn. This could be like 40 minutes. Yeah, this one, the training camp won't be 3 days. It'll be a month. I want it to be a month, so it's gonna be a month. Oh shit, I didn't even realize this piercing. My dumbass. It was so clear too. Like this piercing right here. Like my dumbass should have noticed it the moment I downloaded this picture. But no, my dumbass rather not care about it. Like, I mean, like it's not that noticeable, so yeah. He has that piercing. So yeah. So Deku, I want to do it on one of the cards now. I don't care. Which one's my favorite? Probably this one. Yeah. So, like, I'm basically rubbing my eye right now because my eye is irritating. I never got pink. I'm not gonna lie. That's surprising due to the amount of times I've rubbed my eyes. My ass is so cautious about rubbing my eyes. I'm thinking I'm getting pink eye every second I rub them shits. Yo. Yo, in the comments, tell me if you ever got chicken pox or pink eye. Because, like, those are the two symptoms I never got. As a matter of fact, I never got the flu, too. I just got normal sick and never caught the flu, chicken pox, or pink eye. It's crazy. Everyone around me could be getting them shits, and I'm like, wait, can I get them too? As I never caught them. So, yeah. So, like, the training camp is a month. 8 months. So, for that time, Deku decides, maybe today's the day. Maybe today's the day I should smash. I'm joking. As a week later, Deku's walking out of camp, and Miss Joke knows about what he's planning, and she doesn't really care since it's revenge. As yes, it's time. It's time for 18 plus. I should really get it. Nah, I got you. It's time for 18 plus. To which Aizawa stops him and says, "Where are you going?" Deku says, "I gotta fulfill the thing I said to Baku at the sports festival." As Aizawa's thinking back to it, and he says, "Wait, won't Joke be pissed?" As he says, "Nah, she already knows about it. She's cool with it. I mean, like, it's only one time, right?" As he says, "Fair point." As you know what he says? No. He says, as no. Miss Joke says. Miss Joke said, "If you hear echo, I'm in the bathroom doing this. Like, this is the first time I have ever done it in the bathroom." So yeah. So Miss Joke says she can be a side chick. A side chick. Yes, Miss Joke said side chick because she knows about the situation she's in after hearing, well, Mitsuki is, well, Bakugo's mom. She knows about the situation of what happened with the villain. She was like, alright, since she, well, probably will crave it afterwards. Side chick, as he says, alright. As he pops up to Mitsuki's house, as Mitsuki opens the door and she sees him, as she says, wait, you're... As Deku, he just lunges in for the kiss, as he just starts kissing her, as she just jumps on him, as Izuku grabs her, closes the door, locks it, goes to the room, as she goes on her knees. Oh my god, I keep getting... As he goes to the room, she pulls down his pants. he hit the 20-incher flings out as she's looking at it, hearts are in her eyes, as she starts sucking. She sucks it, she's sucking it, as she's sucking, she deep throwing it and stuff like that. As Deku, he starts eating her. I'm gonna be real with y'all. I'm gonna restrict this to 18 plus later, but like, I'm gonna be real with y'all. Like, for real with y'all. No, I don't need to do that. I'm gonna just spell the word out. I will never in my life eat the Pussy. Never. I don't care whether if it's with my wife, girlfriend, friend with benefits. Never in my life will I ever do that. Why? Because you don't know what she has shoved up there and what has been inside her. It could have been many other men's before you. See, I'm the type of person to use condoms. Unless I'm sure that she has not done it with any other man, I'm not eating the poom poom. Oh no, nothing, bro. I won't even put it in raw. So first that, if you're a girl and you have many other men inside of you, I'm not eating you out. And I'm not putting it in raw. Because I ain't gonna catch no STDs, HIVs, no other diseases like cancer or some shit like that. I'm not joking. Cancer is not contagious. I'm not doing that, bro. Like, I'm not catching no diseases from you. Wait, is Ebola contagious? Like, I'm being legitimately serious here. Is it contagious? If Ebola is contagious, like, can you write that in the comments for me? So yeah, like, I'm not catching no diseases from you whatsoever. So if you were a girl that had multiple men in you, bro, to me, I'm not saying that you're a bad person, but like, to me, you're kind of like a prostitute, because, well, you're handing your body out to other people. It doesn't really matter whether if it's for, like, that person's just using you for, well, sexual intercourse, not really for love. So yeah, so if, like, personally speaking, I would never eat a girl out. Like, if I'm unsure of how many mans has been inside you, yeah, never. As he eats her out, and he nuts inside her mouth, she just sticks, as Izuku sits down and she says, "No, wait, I want it." As he says, "What do you want?" As she's nervous to say it, she says, "I can't." As he says, "What do you want?" As she sticks up her ass and says, "I want it. I want your big fat juicy COCK." As Deku says, "Ho ho, can you say that louder?" As he says it louder, as she says, "Can you yell it out?" As she yells it out, as yeah, and he puts a as he used his aura and made it so that Bakugo can hear what Mitsuki says. He says, "Can you yell it out again?" To which she yells it out, and Bakugo hears this. As Bakugo, he is pissed. Bakugo is fuming. Bakugo is igniting. He's like, whoa. As he's just letting out explosions. And the class is seeing this. As the class is like, what's going on? And Aizawa sees this, and he's laughing his ass off. He's like, oh my god. He's greasing his shit, isn't he? As they're like, what do you mean? As Miss Joe comes in and says, it's happening. As Aizawa says, yes. As he says, Bakugo, what happened? Bakugo tells her what happened. And Miss Joe, she can't hold herself back, bro. She legit goes and starts laughing her ass off. As Izuku still lets Bakugo hear. Izuku is clapping Mitsuki's cheeks. Like, yo, they go 10 rounds. As in the end, Bakugo is hearing twitching and the sounds of hold up. As Mitsuki's on the floor, she's twitching and stuff like that, as she's just saying more and more. As Deku says, one more? Alright. As they go another 10 rounds, as she says more and more. As then after the 25th round, she nuts a lot. As she's just saying, I can't stop coming, I can't stop coming, I can't stop coming. And Bakugo was hearing this. This man is turning red and having veins pop up. He's fuming. He's like, I'm gonna kill that nerd. I'm gonna kill that nerd. I'm gonna kill that nerd. As finally, after 50 rounds of nutting, he nuts inside of her, by the way. Like, yes, he nuts inside of her. As Deku says, Bakugo, you'll be having siblings. As Bakugo, he's pissed. He's like, no. As Mitsuki says, it's fine. As he says, it is fine. After all, I'm now your stepfather, so it's my job to take care of the family. As she's on the floor twitching, and all you hear is, and you just hear a lot of sport sounds of Deku's nut coming out of her, of a JJ, as Izuku, he pulls up his hands and says, I'll be seeing you in a few days. As she says, okay, daddy. Yes, daddy kink. Mitsuki likes the dominatrix type thing. So yeah, as he kisses her and dips. As Deku just pulls up inside the gate, to which he gets hit with an explosion. As Deku doesn't really care, he just keeps walking. As he just walks in, as Aizawa and Miss Joker are waiting there, and they're like, so how was it, Deku? Not gonna lie? It felt good, I'm not gonna lie. It felt good. Bakugo's gonna be having siblings. Like, I'm still gonna be taking care of the fam. Like, she's still a side chick, but, like, it felt good. As His joke says, "When are we gonna do it?" Deku says, "What, you want to do it like later today?" As he says, "Maybe not today, but how about tomorrow?" As he says, "All right." As the other heroes are wondering, what are they talking about? As they take in mind, only only a week and only 8 days have passed since the training camp, and it's a month, which means 31 days. As Class 1A and the instructors wondering, what are they talking about? What do they mean? As Bakugo can't sleep that night because he has the earpiece on. And Deku decided to fuck with Bakugo again and smash Mitsuki at night on the bed, as he just hears a lot of creaking and Mitsuki is screaming and saying, more, more, more. As Bakugo, he's fuming in his bed, to which he's sending out explosions as well. As Deku, he's just laughing his ass off like, ha 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 ha, that's crazy. Yo. As Bakugo is pissed beyond compare. So yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it off there. Like, I'm not finishing off all the no. Alright, so we skipped to, they just did regular training, and after like that month, like the last day, they get attacked and stuff like that. Deku beats the living doo-doo out of Muscular since he tried to hit Koda, and Koda, well, is his favorite kid and stuff like that. So yeah, that's where I'm gonna be leaving it off, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. I went over limit, like 3 times over the limit. It's usually like 30 minutes, but I went, no, not 4 times, but I went over 4 times and a half. No, 4 times and I went 4 times and over half. So yeah, hope you guys are satisfied with this episode. It was wonderful. It was great. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed and stuff like that, and bye.